Antonio.
Your mic is not plugged in.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, mate. What's going on? What is going on?
Keep taking it in and out all the time. Can you hear me now?
We can, but not through your mic.
But it's not through your mic. It's just
not through your mic.
Sound.
Is this loud? No.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's not through your mic.
That's it now, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Now.
No, it's not.
Are you serious?
Yeah, seriously. That is not through your mic.
Hello.
Mate, I don't know what is going on
lads,
with your
just
link.
Just go for it. Let's move
on. Go for it. Let's go for it.
You've just witnessed us win the game 2-1 away from home at Elland Road. Buzzing still?
I'm pleased because we won, but we nicked it. We absolutely nicked it. And I don't really care anymore because we've had our fair share of bad luck over the years. So I'm not going to complain about it, but we nicked it. But I'm buzzing because we won. And as we keep saying, Antonio does nothing for a whole game and then he pops up and scores a worldie. I mean, incredible.
I think that's... Can you see me okay now? No?
I think that is better. Yeah,
that's better, yeah.
So, the thing is, when it comes to these sorts of games, I get it. I understand it. He said quite possibly he's just not had a great game. Matt, I heard you say at the end of the stream, Bielsa is the right tactician, master tactician that could potentially change things. And they did. And Leeds United took the game to West Ham, albeit that West Ham had the better opportunities and their keeper kept them in the game. Leeds controlled that game of football. Yes, West Ham stole the 3 points in the end, but that's what you've got to do when you've got the trust in your number 9. If he even gains any form of momentum, Moyes is stuck by him. Last 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I thought 10 more minutes and we'll see what happens. He made
Antonio's been voted man of the match.
I'll give over.
Well, who cares? We won the game. Do you know what? He deserves it for that goal.
No, I don't.
He doesn't.
No,
he doesn't.
Listen, don't be negative, Nancy's. Let's move
on.
No
one's being negative.
No, I'm not negative.
No one's being negative, but Benrahma had a great game today.
Benrahma was my best player on the pitch for us.
Great game.
He did. I'm not going to lie to you. He did. But listen, what we have got is the resilient West Ham going 1-0 behind against the Bielsa Leeds in a full Ellen Road with their backs up against it, struggling from the start to get momentum into this game. And look what happens. We've walked away with the 3 points at the end of it, thanks to, like you said, still a worldy finish from Antonio. I mean, we will digress the game in a little bit, but I mean, you're on cloud 9, Matt.
Oh, mate, it's the complete opposite. I said to Stel, isn't it? Like last Sunday, we lost it with essentially the last kick of the game, and today we've won it with the last kick of the game. Absolutely buzzing. I said I thought a point would have been fair, but you know what? Take 3 points all day. And you said it's resilience. We've shown that we can push through. We didn't play well in spells, but we kept going. You know what? You might be able to fault the way we played, the actual quality of the play, but you couldn't fault the players' desire and their effort. Some of them looked absolutely knackered at the end, and we thought Antonio was knackered for a long period, but he showed up at the end. Buzzy, mate. We needed to bounce back after the heartbreak of that penalty miss last week, and what a way to do it with another 3 points.
But the thing is, though, still, we walked away from the game against Manchester United not getting anything and absolutely deserving something.
Yeah,
we've walked away with the game today, probably not deserving to win the game.
Well,
but took the 3 points. So does that make up for the game last week?
No, it doesn't make up for last week because I think we still another point from last week would have been very well deserved. In fact, probably 3 points would have been well deserved. But there you go. No, it doesn't make up for it because each game on its own merit, I guess. And we ground out a result today, and we nicked it, and I don't care. And long may it rain. If we nick 3 points from now till the end of the season, great. I don't care, But Leeds, I've got to give credit to Leeds. Good team. very
Well,
very well set up.
But the thing is, though, still, as much as I give credit to Leeds, we've got to flip that credit and give that credit straight back to West Ham and that resilient West Ham, the never die attitude. You rewind 2 seasons ago, lads, and that West Ham does not walk away with even a point, let alone bloody 3.
Yeah,
Like,
they would have given up
especially
after
in
going
that
a goal
first-
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That just
Without a
shows you
doubt.
what Moyes' mentality he's put into that team, hasn't it, Matt?
Oh, mate, Moyes deserves. I sat here moaning and saying, like, he needs to make a change. And great. I literally was like shouting, make a change, and we scored 20 seconds later. Moyes wanted to keep him on. He was Moyes' centre forward. Moyes backs Antonio. But Moyes deserves credit for it, not just for that, but go back under previous managers in recent years. Well, the way we went 1-0 down and the way we struggled, old West Ham wouldn't have got a point out of that game, let alone all 3. Like, we wouldn't. Old West Ham under Pellegrini or Bilic would have lost that 3 or 4.
Caved in. We'd caved in.
We'd have caved. We'd have absolutely crumbled. And yes, we rode our luck at times. They hit the post, and then they had that one in the second half. Should have scored. But no credit to Moyes. It's the steel that he's put into the defence, into the mentality of the team. The grit and determination he's put in.
You say that though, Matt. You say that though, but we can't fault whatsoever. I mean, quite possibly, if the game had stayed a draw, the man of the match quite possibly could have been the Leeds goalkeeper.
Oh, 100. You know what?
Yeah,
I think we said last season.
Actor of the match could have been the Leeds goalkeeper.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, do you know what? He's still. I know that, but he still made
had
5 fantastic. Yeah.
If
And
the
do you know
game
what?
had stayed 1-1,
Do you know what? I'm sorry, Matt. I'm going to bring him on. I'm going to bring him on because his name's bloody right. Exactly, Nige. You're all right, mate. And I'm with you. And you must have been watching the stream, and you must have went, Nige, I bet you went like this. Why still not listening to that wise young geezer, Anton? Because he knows what he's talking about.
No, Nigel, look, you cannot deny Antonio was having one of those games where it was like, you were thinking it ain't going to be his game. It ain't going to be his game. And nothing was coming off for him. But credit where credit's due. What a sublime touch for the goal. I mean, two years ago, Antonio's touch would have gone into Rosette. I know we sort of joke about it, but it's true. Whereas this time he dinked it around the defender and slid it in. I mean, where'd that come from?
Nige, I'm going to ask you the first question, mate. We'll dissect the game in a second. The lads were calling for Antonio to come off. It wasn't his best game in the world. But why did Moyes stick with Antonio? And why would you have stuck with Antonio like Moyes did?
Well, he's at the end of the day, he is the club's best goal threat for a start. So you want to keep your best goal threat on the pitch as long as possible. We all know that actually he's probably one of our only goal threats, or the most major goal threat that we got. And when he's on the pitch, we're lacking in his hold-up play. You could see on Wednesday night, no Antonio.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I can see everyone. It's not an Antonio loving.
No, but you're an ITK.
Well, it's just that I was watching the game, but there was comments coming in about how bad it was. We didn't play well, and I was literally sitting there. I think I text like Cunnington Len, like going, I think I'm watching a different game to what Irons United is because.
Hold on a minute. Nige. You'll watch a different game to what Stell and Matt were watching, mate.
Yes.
Here we go, Matt. Here we go.
I didn't see, weren't watching a different game. And you know me, I don't really do stats, but believe me, I have looked at the stats of the game, not picked out Antonio's. But all these people going, we stole it, we robbed Leeds. Go and look at the stats, yeah, because the stats will tell you a different story. We didn't nick that game. It was an even game. Happy birthday, Russ. Enjoy your party tonight. We didn't nick that game. It was an even game that could have swung either way, but we had a lot of possession. What Leeds did was defend well and had a system that worked well against us. But it was a system that relied on lots of energy, lots of running around, and could they maintain it? And the fact is, they couldn't maintain it, could they? and that's why you keep your best player on and your greatest goal scoring threat
What
till
worried
the end
me,
of the game. You don't need you with 40 minutes to go or 20 minutes to go.
No, there's a lot more than that. There was a lot less than 20 minutes to go. But what worried me?
Get him off.
What worried me is he yellow carded, and I thought he's going to lose his head again because it wasn't going for him. I thought my feeling was he was yellow carded, and I was thinking it's only got to take one more. And look what they tried to do.
And they were trying to get him
Leeds
off.
were trying to get him sent off.
Yeah, but there's a
what
difference.
prompted me to say I think we should take Antonio off. And then I said I don't think he's having his best game.
There's a difference, though, between the game against Man United and the game against Leeds is that Moyes would have had a word with Antonio. Sorry, not Man United, the game he got sent off for Southampton. And Antonio would have known that he can't do what he'd done again. So no matter if the players are going to try their best to get him sent off, I do completely agree with Nigel on this because you've got to keep your best goal score threat on. If you take him off, you nullify that honest analysis. You then remove your goal scoring threat. Okay, yes, we create opportunities out from wide, but if all these strikers need, all the number 9 needs is one opportunity in a game. And if we've taken him off for 15, 20 minutes to go, that's what we lose. And keeping him on that park, it paid dividends to Moyes, it paid dividends to West Ham, and we walked away with 3 points. Anyway, this is not about that.
Look, let's be honest. It's a team effort. He went in, he got the winning goal. I don't think we deserved 3 points. I don't think we did.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but I don't think we did.
In the comment section, because I just don't get what you're saying. Go and look at the stats then. Do you want me to show you the stats from live score?
Leeds did a job on us today.
No, right, hold up, right. Tell me if this says did the jobs, yeah? Shots on target, West Ham 8, Leeds 6. Shots off target, West Ham 7, Leeds 4. They've done a job on us, though, people. Bear with me. Block shots 5 each. Possession, they had 4. They had 54 to our 46, but then again, they were at home and we were away. Corner kicks 7-5 in West Ham's favour, so that says actually we had more of the attacking.
Nigel. I'll keep saying one thing, but the game we were watching suggested
crosses. 19 crosses. West Ham.
How many of them got over players' heads?
Hold up.
How many of those crosses got over the players' heads?
Still, what's happened here is, West Ham.
I didn't even get the goalkeeper saves.
The goalkeeper saves.
Oh,
we need to remind ourselves.
We stole it.
What I think Stell's wanting to say but can't say it because he's so excitable right now that we've got people on and people are watching and it's the Stell show, is that because West Ham didn't have the best day at the office, looking wise, we didn't play the fantastic football. It didn't look great.
At least still.
But the funny thing was, Leeds played better. They played their best football. But at the end of the day, they didn't walk away with the 3 points. We played a game that's nullified their threat. Do you know what, Still? I'll put this one to you. Tell me any occasion that you can remember, apart from the goal, that Fabianski had really a lot of work to do.
It's not that. It's that Leeds did their homework on us and Leeds played well. Leeds set themselves up to frustrate us, and I think they did. I think they set themselves up to... I think they relied on Rafinha. I think we said that before the game started, but
they did. And I said that they looked a lot weaker when he came off.
Yeah, they looked a lot weaker when he went off, and I think, that they did a good job on us. I think I'm going to stick to it. I'm glad we won, but I think we were lucky to get all 3 points.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well done, Bielsa. Well done, Leeds, in getting no points as West Ham walk away with 3.
Oh,
no. That's being really flippant.
I still don't get how you stick to your position when everything tells you that you're wrong.
I think I know what you're trying to say.
Everything tells you that you're wrong.
One of our better games. Right? I think.
But what you're doing is, Matt, you're comparing us, to the really fantastic games that we played at the start of the season.
What Stell's doing.
Yeah, and this is a problem here. You're not taking it as what West Ham United is as a whole, as a team and everything else. You're comparing us to the fantastic start that we had at the season. We've just had some very difficult games. At the end of the day, we've only lost once this season, a game that we should have drew, because Noble should have, at the end of the day, someone should have scored that bloody penalty, whoever it is. You know what I mean? So we were. Listen to me. I am always right. I'm sorry about that. Still, you know. I wish I was typing these names up. I'll have to write these down for next time. It's just that you're comparing it wrong. If you take the game as a whole, just as that game, not comparing it to previous performances of West Ham did far enough to be deserved to say that we deserve to win the game. West Ham did enough.
Matt, you kept quiet. I think you should jump in here. You've kept quiet. I'm the one getting the front end of it, but I know you agree with me.
Yeah, Matt is the stats man. So tell me what the stats say.
The stats say what you said, but in the way that Leeds set up, Leeds were the better team in the first half. I think we matched them in the second, but with them being better in the first half and us matching them in the second doesn't mean we deserve the 3 points. I'm pleased that we got the 3 points.
We've spent 17 minutes bloody well talking about you being a Leeds fan.
And we've been spending 17 minutes knowing that you're a complete tosser. But there you go.
Well, we should be talking about the fact that we walked away. We've got the 3 points. Which
I'm absolutely chuffed. Well, I'm absolutely chuffed that we did.
Tell your face then.
I'm absolutely chuffed.
Thank you for joining the West Ham Network. We've got Stell, the Leeds fan, on joining us today. Matt, who's clueless today, and me and Nige talking the sense of the game today. Let's talk about the team news. A couple of changes in the side today. So Antonio come back into the side. And Fabianski kept his position. What do we all think of that starting lineup? I'll put this one to you, Nige.
To be expected.
Yep.
I didn't expect. I can't remember who it was who was dropping Kufal for Johnson.
Me.
So was it you?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll let you off then.
See.
I thought it was numpty tomorrow.
No. He wouldn't have an idea that good.
No, he wouldn't make a graphic that good either when they. So yeah, no, it was the team. You know, Moyes is loyal. He's got his top 11 or 12 players, and he will be damned and stick by them. Yeah. Never change a winning team as such.
Yeah. What do you think then? Everyone happy with the starting 11? I mean, that's one of our.
I think we kind of. I think we knew that it was going to be that line. I think the only one I suggested wouldn't start would have been Bowen. Only because of because him playing in the middle of the week, and I thought Vlasic might have started, but I mean the lineup was good. We were told yet again by a so-called ITK that Soufal might not make the game. So then, of course, we all started saying, "Oh well, no Fredericks, no Soufal." I think that's why we were putting Johnson in the team, because it was suggested to us that Soufal wouldn't start the game. But
who suggested that?
Well, someone you know very well.
Yeah, well, he's a numpty, isn't he? Fucking hell. Was it really him, was it? Yeah, he's got his finger on the pulse, hasn't he?
He's got his finger on something. God knows what it is.
Yeah. He's out in the Cotswolds this weekend, so I'm not sure what he's got his finger on.
But interestingly, even though Soufal started, he looked knackered. And Soucek looked knackered. I
think I want to talk about that. I'm not going to try and justify my reason why I thought Soufal should have been rested. I think he looked a bit. Man United targeted Soufal in the Premier League game, and they were getting through that kind of area when it came to Soufal. He was expected to be rested for the League Cup game. He wasn't. He came on. He played another game again. And today, I think Soufal grew into the game, but I think initially he looked a bit on edge and he looked a bit worried. Yes, Lee. Yes, tell us what we are, please, mate. I want me to say it. We are massive, mate. We are massive. But I thought Soufal was going to get rested, and I think you will now see him rested for the Vienna game. Yeah. And that'll do him the world of good, and then he will come back in and step into the team for Brentford. But when it comes to the game itself, at the early doors, it was actually quite a good neutral game to watch because it was pretty much
it was box to box, yeah.
It was box to box. I mean, we had a chance very early on through Benrahma, but I mean, talk to me, Matt, about the keeper, Leeds United's keeper. He really did keep them in it very early on, let alone the whole game.
God, he looks about 16 there, doesn't he?
He is still quite young, I think. Melier. But I think they only bought him. Did they only actually buy him? Was it this summer just been on summer before? They had him on loan before that. But he is a very, very good young goalkeeper.
Yep.
Like, I don't think people actually understand how young he is. He's 21.
By the looks of that haircut, and only youngsters have their haircuts with rulers nowadays.
Well, so
I'd
does
imagine
come on, so does
that
Sean.
he is-
But there you go.
Well, that's a basin, not a ruler.
He's only, you think of how good the performance was that he put in. He's only 21.
Yeah.
So the kid has got the world at his feet. He will be going places. But he made some fantastic saves at times. I know we're sitting there saying...
Yeah, but we nicked it, apparently. We stole it.
I was going to
did.
say...
And some people in the chat have been saying the same thing, so there you go.
Yeah, but then they're not watching the thing. And this is the thing I don't
Oh,
get.
I'm sorry, we've not been watching it through claret and blue tinted glasses,
It's not
mate.
claret and blue
But there you
tinted
go.
glasses. Their keeper pulled off 7 saves.
Yeah.
We had
Brilliant
more
saves as
shots
well.
on target. That's what I'm saying. Yet we've nicked it.
It
How
was one
can
of
we
them
nick
ones-
it if he's the busier goalkeeper?
The shots we had on target weren't wasted opportunities. We created clear-cut chances, and he had to pull off some very good saves to
Right.
keep him in the game, which he did. I will say that, and he has an excellent game, and they've got a quality piece of talent on their hands in that goalkeeper.
Let me move forward with the game. 19
Happy
minutes
birthday,
in.
Russ.
Happy birthday, Russy boy.
I hope you saved us some cake, but highly unlikely. There you go.
Why? What did you look at that picture of him and go highly unlikely? Saved your cake. That's very harsh to
that's
you,
horrible.
Stelios. That is a
Oh,
personal
no
slight
need for that.
on Rustic.
No,
I'm surprised he's
It's
not
just
just me
Russ likes
you
cake.
last week.
Russ
What?
likes cake.
You're just looking at him and thinking, I bet he likes
I
cake.
bet he
A
likes
bit
cake.
like, and I didn't mean it. That's the way
listen,
you
hold on a
took it.
minute.
Oh, you're
Oh.
slightly
Nice, you can't say anything. You dug
why
me
you
out
said
last
it.
week.
Yeah, you took it out last week, didn't you? What do you call him?
It was
Yeah,
in the
well,
bloody-
me,
it
I
was-
was just
it was in the bloody
repeating.
queue.
Live on camera.
I was just repeating what the person on the phone had said to me. We didn't, without knowing that Anton was standing behind me. All I said was, "What? Anton's put on a bit of timber."
Anton he ain't put on a little bit of timber, he's putting a whole fucking tree, mate. There you go. Shouldn't
See,
swear this
look.
before the threshold. Sorry about the swearing.
Right, listen, 19 minutes in, one of the most reliable men in the West Ham shirt, Tommy Soucek, tries to collect the ball. Don't know what he's doing. He gets a little bit mixed up, loses the ball. Rodrigo gets down the left-hand side, crosses the ball into Rafinha, and he pinpoints the ball into the bottom left-hand corner, makes it 1-0. Leeds still. What were you thinking at that point?
It was a sloppy goal to give away. And
Did they nick it?
Yeah, they did that goal. Yeah, it was a sloppy goal. No, actually, it was a well-created goal. We started that by giving the ball away.
They did nick it at that point in time.
They did nick it. They did.
At that point in time, we were the team on top creating the chances. The keeper was making the saves, and it was a silly, almost blinded back pass from Soufal that is entirely missing.
Bit of a tired back pass. People are talking about, why are you putting me on screen just to highlight what? It was a bit of a tired back pass, and Soucek, people were actually suggesting before the game that maybe Soucek should be rested for Krul, given the game Krul had in midweek, and did really well. And it did look like it was a sloppy goal to give away, but that put them on the up. That gave them the confidence to sort of move on.
I do think that Soucek, I think he has looked a bit tired. Well, I don't think he's had his best game in a West Ham shirt today. I think he's ran his socks off. I made a claim a while ago about saying at the end of the game, last 10 minutes, he looked tired. And then everyone put me to right by saying, well, he has ran his socks off for the last 80 minutes. Today, I don't think it was Soucek's day at the office. I think Rice done most of the cover in the midfield. Don't know if anyone agrees or disagrees with me. But you know what? People make errors. That's what happened. It was just put it down to one error. He lost the ball. They took advantage and scored a goal. And like we all said, they nicked the lead 1-0. But as the game progressed, West Ham didn't give up, but Leeds took a bit of a hold of the game. And they were coming at West Ham. Nice. What did you think at that point? What was going on with West Ham and Leeds in the kind of second part of the first half?
Yeah, I mean, in regards to goal, it was indecisive. I don't think he was tired. I think he divered over the pass back. I think it was Zuma that was on the inside of him, but it could have been Ogbonna, excuse me there, that was on the inside of him. And I think he was just caught in two minds whether to go all the way back to Fabianski or lay the ball off. And he sort of got caught in two minds and half-hearted did the pass, which I think was aimed at the defender. and that it just left them to run onto it. Rafina, it was a good cross. Or layoff. Who was it that laid it off? So he pulled it back, didn't he? And it, not Dallas,
was it James? Was it James?
Was it Dan James?
Yeah, it might have been.
James
Who then
down by the left by James.
laid it off?
Yeah,
you know, for the shot.
Fantastic finish.
Oh, Cleach,
yeah.
Cleach, yeah.
Click.
Oh, click, yeah, click.
Yeah.
So we pronounce it up here.
So that's, you know, and at the end of the day, I thought it was against the run of play, but then Leeds, I think DMH says there, Leeds did their homework on us, and then Leeds did nick it. Yeah, they are. And because it was an even game, you know, and this is the thing where I say, like, I listened to Still going, oh, it was an end-to-end game. Well, then if it was an end-to-end, that means it went up their end and then came back to our end. So we were attacking as much as they were attacking. So I found it a fairly even game, but they perhaps had better of the possession once they'd scored. And they seemed to really try and dominate us. But the thing about it is to keep that energy level that they had going for the whole game, I think it's very difficult, and that's what played into our hands in the end.
Well,
I mean, look,
who put that comment up a second ago? I think that was that you answered that comment up on the screen.
Which one? That one?
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Howard,
yeah, that's
Leeds
right.
Tactically got it right. He's a top manager, Bielsa, but the game's played for 90+ minutes, not 75. And
I'm pretty sure
the end of the game they did start running out of gas.
I'm pretty sure we were linked with Bielsa before Bilic. Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the more first choices in front of Bilic, because Bilic was like fifth choice or something, wasn't he?
He was at Marseille back then, wasn't he?
He
with
Batshuayi
and Payet, and he'd built a good Marseille team. So, you know, I think Leeds have got a great manager. You know, I don't think Leeds are going to do a Sheffield United and go down. But, you know, it just shows you our fortitude now and how Moyes has built this team up. I'm
actually I'm actually looking at the comments. So
listen, I want to kind of move further into the game. For me personally, I just think it was more about rhythm going forward. Oh, there goes Matt again with his brilliant internet connection. But I think the rhythm going forward for West Ham, we just couldn't find that final touch. So I thought we progressed well as a team, but we just couldn't get that connection, that click together. 36 minutes in, Rafinha gets the ball again and he squares it onto the post. West Ham lucky not to walk away with being 2-0 down. And it's coming up to, you know, the halftime whistle, and we walk in 1-0 down at halftime. I mean, Nige, at that point, are you happy? You put it down to the keeper keeping Leeds in the game, or?
Yeah, I mean, at half time, apart from telling people so much negativity on Irons United, I also said I don't think we've been that bad, but just Leeds have been better. So I don't think we played that bad, but Leeds had upped their game. And at the end of the day, you expect that when Leeds are the home team. That there was, you know, I know it's been years, or obviously last season, you know, Leeds were out of the Premier League for 14, 15 years. But they've took more points off for West Ham than any other team in the Premier League that they've played. So that just shows you the soft touch that we used to be for Leeds United. Obviously, that's changed now, and I get it. That's a stat that you would look back to the Leeds team of the late 90s or the 90s up to like early 2000 before they went down and sort of exploded in a way that West Ham didn't. But Chris Deneen, how you doing, mate? It's been a long time. Yeah, I've not seen Chris for a while. But back to the game, yeah. So at half time, I wasn't concerned. Did I think we'd win the game? I thought we'd get something out of the game. I can't say at half time I'm thinking, oh, don't worry, people, we can win this. But I definitely thought, you know, I think I text still what my pre-match prediction was on Super 6, and it was 1-1. So it's probably the best 5 points I've lost on Super 6 this season.
There's a comment just come in just there about Benrahma. I want to talk to you based upon his first half performance. Actually, screw that. Benrahma's performance all in today. I'll put this one to you, Stel, first, and we can go around the group. How did you rate Benny today?
Brilliant. I was suggesting during the game, or certainly near the end of the game, that Benrahma looks like playing the way Moyes finally wants him to play. And I talked about how other players have had to sort of adapt to what Moyes is expecting from them, especially Fornals. I remember when Fornals came into when Moyes came back to West Ham for the second time, and he dropped Fornals, and we were wondering why, because Fornals looked like he'd been playing quite well, and we were sort of like questioning why that was happening. And then you started to see Fornals changing his game, and you're now beginning to see Benrahma doing exactly the same. Benrahma was getting back and defending as much as he was going forward today, and that was fantastic to see. And that's exactly what David Moyes wants in his midfielders. Great that they've got the flair and they've got the ability to go forward and create chances. But there was one point, Benrahma, I think, was the last man before the keeper, where he did a sort of like a great tackle in order to get danger away. And brilliant. This is what Moyes wants. Moyes doesn't want Benrahma to lose the effort and the skill that he has, but Moyes wants Benrahma to put the effort in the same way as he's managed to get Fornals to do it, and probably Bowen as well to some extent. But Bowen is quite a hard worker anyway, and it's really good to see. Really, really pleased for Benrahma. He's beginning to just start to go into a purple patch, I think, and I think that is going to be a good thing for West Ham, because you start getting Benrahma putting in the same effort that Fornals and Bowen does, and that three in the middle is going to be quite formidable. There you go. That's not bad for a Leeds fan, is it?
No, it's not like you, is it? Let me bring in Luke. Luke, you obviously buzzing after that result away at Elland Road. We're talking about Benrahma and Benrahma's performance today. How did you think he played today?
I thought it was brilliant, to be fair. He's still lacking that sort of what's it called? The final touch, the shot doesn't quite go for him. He hits the defender, or he can't get the assist in, or this, that, and the other. But he's him and Bowen's work rate is phenomenal. There's no I think apart from maybe Rice, there's not much comparison in the team for the both of them. And today, I thought he was really unlucky at that point in the late in the second half when he went for about 3 or 4 players, or 4 or 5, hit the defender with a shot. But if he scored that, it'd been a brilliant goal. But Benrahma he's one of them sort of players you sort of think, well, he's got the skill to be there, every game to do something special, but it doesn't always come off for him. But I think today, the fact that he kept him on and he played well right to the last minute, I think it was brilliant. Like all the other players in the second half. First half, I didn't think it was all that, but second half, definitely.
De Gea, they're starting on you again, mate.
Yeah, okay. I was waiting for it. I know it. Oh, there's no camera on my laptop, so I'm going to do it on my phone and headphones. So back onto the old jokes.
I'll jump this one to you, Matt. Kind of touching on what Stell said, you kind of feel like that the Moyes influence is kind of ramming home to Benny in terms of the work rate, is all round gameplay. I mean, for me today, Benny done everything except for score a goal in that West Ham shirt. His performance was through the roof. He tracked back. He made good tackles. He defended as a team. He went forward as a unit. He connected the defence through to the striker. He dropped deep. I don't know if you clocked this quite a lot, but he kept dropping deep to come and collect the ball, and then spraying the ball left, right, and centre all over the park. Like, what did you think of him, Benny? Matt?
Well, let's put it this way. When we had to make a sub, who did he take off? His go-to subs, originally his go-to sub was Bowen. We went for a massive swell, Bowen never making 90 minutes. Then it started to be Benrahma, but today it was Fornals that came off. So, he's the one that normally gives the cover for the fullback, but he was like, no, I'm keeping Benrahma on today. And like Stell said, there was a couple of times, especially in the second half, where I think one of them, it was the first half, actually. First half, they had a counter-attack from one of our corners, and Rafinha played a through ball probably towards Dan James, and on the edge of the box he was in, and it was a last ditch tackle, and you're like, who was that? And then you see him get up, and it was a sliding tackle, and it was Benrahma. And you would not have seen that 18 months ago when he came in, but the players, even the ones now that maybe weren't on board with his tactics to begin with, are seeing the results of what he wants. So they're all on board with it. Everyone is fully on board behind Moyes' tactics, and it might take him a while to adjust to it. But you're seeing Benrahma now do it at both ends of the pitch. He is getting stuck in, doing hurrying defending.
And you know that's what Moyes wants, isn't it? That he wants a hard-working team. He wants the flair, but for him it's important that his midfield graft, and Benrahma put the graft in today.
They're all doing it, aren't they? You can't name one player really that you wouldn't think would be good at getting back and getting forward. They're all doing it. Antonio sort of does the one job where he just sticks up front and that's about it. But most of them are turning into workhorses, but can also do the technical side of the game as well, which is great to see for all the players to do it.
Yeah. Kev is saying Fornals was on a yellow. Thought it made sense bringing him off. Not sure if Moyes would have subbed him otherwise. Kev, Stell and Matt thought Antonio was on a yellow and should have been subbed off, but look how that worked out for them.
Oh, hang on. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Luke, what was that you said, mate? Sorry.
Yeah,
did you think Antonio should have come off as well? That makes three of us that don't know anything about football.
I'm glad you admit it. Welcome to I Know Nothing About Football Anonymous.
And everyone else that said it in the chat. Oi, everyone else that said it in the chat, you lot know nothing about
My
football.
name is Stelios and I know nothing about football. Sit down. Well done, Stel. Thanks for coming to today's group therapy. If you'd like to sit down and tell us. Would anyone like to join in? Look, do you want to join in?
Let me move further into the game.
Hurry up, because Anton's mum's telling him he's got to have his tea.
You know what? You're actually right. I'm not even remotely joking. She has I said it's ready, and that's why I'm going to be going soon and leaving it to the lads. Listen, 53 minutes in.
Dinner's time.
He's regressed to 10 years old.
I'm just playing with my friends, mummy. I'll be there soon.
Still, she's Irish, mate.
I can't do an Irish accent, but I'm sure Nigel can try, though. I'm sure Nigel's got it in him to do it.
I'll be got her.
Listen, 53 minutes in, and we get a goal chopped off. Antonio jumps up and he leads with his arm, doesn't he? Catches the keeper. Soucek slots the ball into the back of the net. Right decision. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah,
it was right. But to get booked was odd.
It was a booking.
He caved to the fans for that. 100%.
Yeah, he did. He did.
The commentary I had said it is because he watched it on the big screen. So he watched it on the little screen and went no goal, and then he stood over Mounier. Now it's possible he did see the blood coming out of Mounier's mouth as well.
And he's gone, "I'll go for your ball."
But it weren't.
He's had a clump, and then they played it on the big screen. He's probably looked up and thought, like when Stell's at home. Stel, you've watched today on your first game in 2 years for your telly. I think you need to go back to watching it on your phone, son, because obviously. The bigger the telly, it's like screwing with your eyes. You're not used to watching it properly.
But do you know what?
Obviously, the ref has seen it and gone, goal, yellow card.
It was right decision.
Stevie, I think Stevie's right. Card given after fan reaction.
Yeah. That's what it was. 100%.
That's what it was because he weren't. I
just read.
I don't know.
Tom Clark.
I think it was a
correspondent for Football London.
Yes. Was it a booking or was it just like
You can't go up with your arms like that and expect to get away with it. That's booking all day long.
Then what? 2 minutes later, they try to do it again. They try to get him sent off.
If someone does that to Fabianski, we're all saying, "Give him a yellow."
I don't know.
I wouldn't have done it.
I wouldn't have done it. Either way.
Having been on the end of them, I'll tell you what, they
are. That goal,
Antonio, his arm came out like about 5 minutes later when he was challenging for a ball. He hit the player in the face.
No, hit him on the shoulder.
And he went down or whatever. But they were looking to try and get him sent off.
Go back to your phone still. Listen, a couple of minutes later, because we stole the game.
Shut up, Anton. You talk utter bollocks, man.
We had another chance with another world-class save from the goalkeeper from Leeds. But anyway, we did take this chance thanks to Jared Bowen. It took 2 deflections on its way in. Is it Jared Bowen's goal?
No.
Yes.
It deflected.
Hold up. Was it going in when he shot?
Yes,
the first deflection takes it away. Second deflection takes it in.
It was.
If it's going in the whole time, it's definitely his goal.
Well, put it this way.
It was going in, then not going in, then going in.
It doesn't matter.
When it left his foot, it was going in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Problem is, because it took 2 deflections, you go off the second deflection.
Oh, let's stop. It's his goal. Give it to him.
It's
It's not
not.
hard. It's not your ball.
Look, this is what you got to deal with Stato and Still. It's just
Well,
Yeah, unfortunately,
it's like
the only balance that there is in this.
it's like bloody
I would
Leeds
do a
fan
bit more,
TV here.
I would do a bit
Well
more.
done,
But you lot,
Stato.
WhatsApp
Well
messages.
done.
Nige, Bowen, he's been getting a lot of plaudits recently for his work rate, his ability to get forward, his clever play. Do you know what? I think that might be Nige. I think he looked away on his phone there and typed that in.
On the BBC website, it's an own goal.
I've checked.
Oh,
on
and
it,
then
it's an own
do you know
goal.
what, Stevie B?
It's an
Do
own goal.
you know what? BBC are always right, aren't they?
What do they know?
Oh, here
Giving
he
him his
goes.
own goal as well.
Oh, you're a bit like Sean Whetstone. You sort of flip flop all the time, Anton.
He's such a wally. Anyway, Nige, I was talking about Bowen saying his ability. He's getting a lot of plaudits a lot recently. If it's an own goal or whatever, is that going to do him the world of good? And what did you think of that at that moment and Bowen's performance today?
No, across the front, everybody played well. So Bowen was very busy. The stuff about Benrahma, Luke said earlier, totally agree how great he was, and he probably was man of the match for it. Oh, look, Anton's got to have his tea again. Look, his mum's going. I
sorry,
told you
Mummy.
10 minutes ago.
Sorry,
Told you
Mummy.
10 minutes ago.
It's
Your
going
dinner's
cold.
ready.
What?
And it's going to be on the table. Look. See? Yeah. You'll be on the naughty step you keep on.
Nice,
You'll be like Jake.
Come on,
You'll have to do it from your bedroom because you'll be in there.
You'd be grounded.
Yeah. So, but back to Bowen. He's back to Bowen. He played exactly how we know he can play. So it's difficult to split the front line. Actually, I thought they were all as good as each other. It's what I call a great team performance. Benrahma stood out for me because of the defending that he did. We're not used to seeing him doing it, and he did it really well, defending and attacking, and that's how he won.
I'll tell you, I want to ask you lads a question. Soucek, for me, he's all this so far this season. He's been really disappointing. I don't know if it's a hangover from the Euros, but the second half he was a different animal. I don't know if that's down to Moyes telling him, give him a rock up his arse or whatever, or there's tactics going on that. That we're telling Rice to hold back more and putting Soucek in more of attacking, as more of attacking threat. I just thought he was awful in the first half. In the second half, he was completely different. He was a much better player. I don't know what you don't think of him this season.
Before you continue and give your Soucek evaluation, I am going to leave because my pregnant wife of 8 weeks to go till our baby's born.
Here we go.
I am going to leave because I am
Woman on their own
Here
one.
we go.
Mummy boy, no, this is actually my
Honestly.
wife right now, so. Yes.
Let me wipe that off your forehead, Anton. Let me wipe that off your forehead.
Matt,
Go on,
I'm putting you under
wipe
pressure,
it off
mate.
your
We're doing the
forehead.
ratings tonight. Okay.
Tell him,
Are you allowed?
Tell him on your
You're
bike.
allowed,
I've got
yeah,
other
I'm
things
all right,
to
you're
do.
allowed.
Are you allowed to do the rating
I'm
show?
all right. Don't talk to me about
It
it.
will be
Anton.
any time between
Go,
8 and 9.
go talk to the missus and
No,
see
he
if she'll
won't.
let you do it.
Anton, he'll let you do it on your own because Anton won't be there.
Fresh at 9 o'clock. It'll be.
It'll be the Stato show starring Stato and where's
Mari.
Anton? There you go.
Yeah.
Go on then, off you go. Bye.
Off you go.
Fucking bunch of fucking. Fucking.
So yes, Soucek. Yeah, he's. I don't want to keep saying it, but weirdly enough, people keep saying he looks tired.
Yeah,
Does he look tired? I mean,
Yeah.
Good
it's a
second
lot, isn't
half.
it?
leggy.
Nearly scored with that header. I mean, I think
Yeah.
we're noticing a bit because he ain't getting the goals that he got.
It's
Yeah,
not just that. He's not,
1-0 up against Liverpool. Get in.
oh,
Anyway,
we got a bet on
sorry.
him. That's all right.
Yeah, better second half without a doubt. You said the same thing, Luke. So
Is it?
What is-
No, I'll throw this to Luke. Is it because Rice is attacking more?
I was about to say they reckon there's people who analyse the game intrinsically a lot more than the normal human would do. Say that basically they've since the start of the season they've pushed Rice into a more attacking role and left him holding back more. Now in the second half, apparently, if you watch the game really in depthly, Rice was doing the more cleaning up. And Soucek was pushing up more further from the midfield, which changed things. And it's one of them things where he's, sort of most times last season, the ball going in the box and Soucek would be one of the attackers in there. You think he's come from midfield. Where's he come from? And there's been none of that this season. I think some of his passing has been off as well.
But Isn't it that last season they were taking turns? I mean, Soucek was getting further forward last season more than Declan was, but they were kind of like when one went forward, normally one would sort of slightly, stay behind. And
I
you know,
agree.
the odd occasion that Declan did go forward, Soucek would do the same. No,
That's the thing. But when you look at this season, how it's gone, tell me one game where Soucek's taken the ball forward on his own. He hasn't done it this season. It's all been Rice. Rice is going forward. Rice is the man that's just doing it up, and it's changed. I don't know if it's teams working Soucek out and Rice is having to do more work or something like that. But that second half from Soucek is like the old Soucek. We haven't had that for 4 or 5 games, and it's been a bit disappointing. So hopefully he can keep that up. But it's a bit worrying in the first half, definitely.
Howard suggested that maybe Kral should have started. Would you have given Soucek another rest and played Kral, or at least give him a half? But then, as you said, Nigel, Soucek in the second half had a much better game than he did in the first.
Yeah. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, though, with the position they play, both of them can't go forward for a start. No. So it's always a case of one has to go, one has to stay. So
I thought Kral was. I'm not being honest. I may be being a bit harsh here. I know everyone was saying that Kral had a great game on against Man United. I watched the first half. I had to go work for the second, but I thought he was pretty under par. Kral in the first half against Man United. I think he obviously improved in the second half, but he seemed very off the pace. And he's a bit nervous, obviously, which is going to be his first game. But I didn't see anything that everyone else was talking about in the first game. But hopefully they proved me wrong. If I'm putting a player down, hopefully they prove me wrong. But I didn't think Kral was that great against Man United.
He had a good debut. I think for me, what it is that Moyes. I think what we can see now is when he buys a player, I think it's different for Zuma because Zuma's played in the Premier League for a higher level than West Ham. So I think it was easy to bring Zuma in at the right time. He allowed Dawson, he didn't just do it straight away. So, he allowed Dawson to have a bad game and at least use that as an excuse rather than Dawson's playing for the shirt and he would feel hard done by and losing it. But I think what you can do, you can see with Benrahma in a way and sort of, he did the same with Bowen. He didn't start them. He bought them. They didn't go straight into the first team. They would come in and whatever. And it introduces them at a pace. And it's probably that reason that it's paid off for Benrahma. That Benrahma had that season last year of being introduced slowly, not really coming into the team and getting 30 minutes here, 55 minutes there, stuff like that. And that's what I expect. The benefit that Moyes has got this season is we're in the cup still. I mean, it's October and we're still in the League Cup. Off the front page, we've got the League Cup games as well. So he's got games time, to play these players. Because at the end of the day, they would have had reserve football, whatever, but they're getting nothing, are they?
He made a comment. Was it in the pre-match presser, David Moyes? That he thinks it will take him 6 months to get up. He thinks it'll take Kral 6 months to get up to speed.
It's interesting how Moyes evaluates that, isn't it? Because because we have it, we look at a player and we have it in our head. Matt, can you look up to see if we've scored a goal from a corner yet this season?
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
Okay.
I've looked. Did you look that?
We look at a player and we think, oh, they're ready after one game or after 2 games, etc. And it was a bit like Benrahma last season where fans were crying out for, play him. What's wrong with you? Play him. Moyes sees it in a completely different way, doesn't it? Well, as a manager should. A manager will evaluate this player's going to take 3 months, 6 months, a season, and who can say that Moyes is wrong? Kral, I thought, had a really good game on Wednesday. And I think there will come a point where I think you're right, Nigel. We'll probably play a lot more in the cup games than he will in the Premier League. I think it'll be interesting to see whether he plays in the Premier League before Christmas, or at least has a start. He might come on as a sub, but that's what Moyes sees, isn't it? And he's been renowned for not bringing players into the first team straight away. Like you said, the only one so far is Zuma, and even that took a game or 2 games or however many it took. But what about other players? Bowen, I mean, he's becoming a phenomenon, isn't he?
He's just ridiculous. He's just. I've lost count now the amount of times I've been left jaw dropped by his work rate. The fact that you think he's going to lose the ball once a player closes him down, and if you watch most games now, when he goes on a run, there's about 3 or 4 players that come and try and take the ball off him. that can't get anywhere in it, and he still manages to get past them, and then still manages to try and get up and put a ball in, or have a shot, or set someone up. At the moment, he's my favourite player. I love Antonio to pieces. Love Declan Rice. All the boys there, but Bowen slowly turns to one of them players that, you think if he's not in the team, he's a massive loss. And he's got. I saw a comment the other day saying if he improves his shooting, he's got 10 to 15 goals in him at least a season. And the way he's been the last 3 or 4 games, I think he's just been unplayable and one of the best players. And I think him working as hard as he does on the wing gives Antonio space to not work as hard, if you get what I mean. So fair play to him. I think he's been absolutely phenomenal this season.
Bowen for me, you boys, well, not still, obviously, I don't include him in this. You boys are a bit young, but Jeff Pike, that's what Bowen is. Jeff Pike had a great engine. He ain't. You know of him because he's part of the 80 team. You probably didn't see him play because he left in 1987. But he had a great, fantastic engine. But because he played in a team with Billy Bonds, Brooklyn, David Cross, and them likes, he's overshadowed and down the pecking order. And that is what Bowen is, because you got Declan Rice. You've got like Antonio up front. You've got Soucek. You've got Kufal. When people start naming this team, Bowen, he'll probably be the one down towards the middle when they trot his name out.
I'm just looking at the comments now, and there's one comment that's come up. I've just seen it call on my eye. Long Dark Tunnel says he's better than Pikey. So I don't know if you agree with that.
He possibly is better than Pikey, because Jeff had a great shot on him, but he didn't get as many goals as what Bowen does. Let's be honest. But he had a great engine, and he did run around.
Yeah. And Bowen is no longer the predictable sub. I can't remember who said it. I think Matt said it. Normally, when the first player,
not that you predict, still, because you think it's Antonio. But
it should have been today. But there you go. And I think Matt reckoned the same. And guess what? So did Luke. But there you go.
It's strange you says that though, because you would still, if he takes Bowen off, which he normally does. Today he didn't, but normally he does. Normally you go, oh, he's taking Bowen off again. He's putting Yarmolenko on or something like that. So in a way, he still kind of is, unfortunately. He still gets sort of dragged off when I don't think he should do.
But he does it a lot later in the game now. I know Moyes has got a habit of like doing late subs, but now, whereas Bowen used to be taken off on the 70th minute, 80th minute, something like that, whereas now it'll be like kill the game off and put Yarmolenko off.
Just out of interest, did you see Yarmolenko's face when he was going to get brought on?
No.
Moyes was giving him instructions, and then Nolan put his arm around his neck. And you could just tell Yarmolenko was like, I know I'm coming on to make up numbers. I'm not. There's no point giving me this instruction because I know what I'm coming on to do.
I know what Yarmolenko was thinking. I know what he was thinking. Win bonus.
No. He gets his sub bonus, doesn't he?
I'll get me win bonus now. I'm on the pitch and we've won the game. Thank you very much.
20 grand, 10 grand coming off the bench. That's what he was thinking.
Bless you.
We talked about Benny's defensive work. It's been immense. I mean, like we said, Bowen, Benrahma, and Fornals, skillful players, but also putting in the graft, aren't they? That's not a bad attacking midfield when you've got Soucek and Rice sitting just behind. That midfield 5 is becoming quite a unit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry to bore you, Luke.
Sorry.
I didn't even hear what you said. I was looking up the Ryder Cup score.
You did a Sean, did you? You were doing something else.
Yeah.
I said that midfield 5 is becoming quite a unit with Soucek, Rice, and then Bowen, Benrahma, and Fornals. I mean, they're all grafting, aren't they?
Put it into context, right? You take all the midfields in the Premier League, and I'm not saying this. I'm not saying that they're the best midfield in the league. What I'm saying is the way they work for us. When you put them against other midfields in the league, I'm talking mainly sort of like Spurs, maybe Man United here, or possibly even Arsenal or Liverpool or something like that. The way that they're all very technically the same, like Benrahma and Bowen and stuff like that, is that you got Antonio that complements that as well. I don't think there's another more hard-working midfield than West Ham's in the league. Hard-working wise, I'm talking about. Obviously not the best. You couldn't put some of them players in any team in the league, but
I don't know. I'd argue
hard-working
that you know,
Maybe.
someone asked the question earlier on. Well, is it true that we were offered 20 million for Bowen by Liverpool? I don't know if we were offered it. I think they made an inquiry, but probably it's about as far as it got. With most transfer rumours, it probably went no further. But our players are being taken notice of. Soucek linked with other teams. Declan, as we all know, linked with other teams. Bowen now linked with other teams. Will it only be a matter of time before Fornals and Benrahma start being linked with other teams? That will make, you know, links by the whole five. Yeah, for the whole five. Yeah.
Well,
So
Fornals ain't going anywhere. He's retiring at West Ham. He's already said
he's retiring at West Ham. Absolutely. What else do we want to talk about before we go?
Fans.
Fans,
going over there, and I think a few of them got on the pitch towards the end. Rice went over at the end of the game with his shirt off to celebrate with them all. Cess has literally just texted. I've seen the pop notification on my phone saying he nearly ended up on the pitch. The celebrations must have been that amazing. But once again, supporters going, you know, up north, representing the club, and you know, it must have been amazing up there. Away days now are becoming. You at least know we're going to perform. You at least know we're going to watch West Ham give it. We might not win the game, but we're going to give it some, and that's great to see. So I've got to do some myself sooner or later. A few away days, you've got to try and catch you up still.
They are good. They're good fun, and I think you know, I think the next away day for me, I'm going to miss the Everton one, but well, look, we're going to Vienna, aren't we, Nigel? Or have you not made your mind up yet?
Do you know, it is funny because I've looked at that week and I think we've got Man City away at the weekend.
Before Vienna.
I was talking to someone, and what I'll do is, I know it sounds funny, if we're going to be knocked out, I'll be in Vienna.
We're not going to get knocked out.
Then I'll probably do the Man City game because I've got family up there. So I'll probably do the Man City game on the Sunday. I think we got 3 away games that week. I don't know if we got Wolves or Turn the Light On. Yeah, I was just thinking that it's getting a bit dark in here. Hold up. There you go. Is that better? There you go.
A lot better.
I looked at the fixtures the other day to see who we had that week of Vienna.
Well, let's see. So the week of Vienna, what date is that? That's the
25th of November. 25th. So on the 20th, we're Wolves away. Yeah. So
on the Saturday we got Liverpool, then Wolves away, Vienna away, City away.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And it was like, because the Wolves away and the Manchester, I was going up there to see family. And it was like, to do that, go Vienna, and work at the same time somehow. We don't all work from home still. So some of us tradesmen have to get on the road.
Yeah.
You know, if we can get diesel, because my van was on red because I made the mistake of not bothering to fill my van up on Thursday, thinking, "Oh fuck it, I'll do it when I go to work."
Happened to us today on the way home, all the way back from from Kent. Like we won't bother fill it in where we were, and so we drove, and then we got to Dartford. It's like shit. It's been in the red now for the last half an hour. We better find a petrol.
Where did you get it?
We ended up.
Don't tell him.
We got petrol in Dartford. Yeah.
Where?
No,
do you know?
Just before the
bridge
crossing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Dartford. Yeah.
Yeah. Just before. Yeah. All right.
On the
M25. You're lucky you didn't cross the bridge.
Would I? I'm
the
not
other side of the
bridge. For me there still.
The other side of the bridge.
I went to 5 petrol stations today, all either side of the, or even on the proper side of the bridge, the Essex side, where we've all got 5 fingers and toes on each bit, rather than the 6 they've got.
You heard it here first.
but yeah, there was nothing. There was absolute. In fact, I went down. I had my pie mash down in Canning Town today, and I sat in a 45-minute traffic jam that stemmed from the BP garage at Barking all the way back to Canning Town. People were queuing to get into a petrol station that had no petrol.
Ridiculous.
See, this is madness. It's like this is the government and the oil companies colluding and holding back the petrol, so we all start shitting ourselves.
So
let's not get political.
I've now got. I ain't even got enough to go to work. In fact, only got enough to get me to the nearest petrol station. So I've got to wait till the
hang on a
nearest
minute.
petrol
What's that
station's
got to do with going to Vienna? You don't need petrol. You know,
Well, no,
worry
but
about
we've
the
got to go
airport,
to work
the
still
airline.
now. It looks like I'm going to lose money because I'm not going to be able to go to work until this stupid bloody petrol thing's over and done with. I'm self-employed, isn't it? You know, when I don't go to work, I lose money.
You have to give him a
fair
lift
enough,
still.
fair enough.
You have to give him a lift, mate.
Give him a lift. What? Use my petrol up to in order to go down and give him a lift. Give him a can of petrol. There you go.
There you go. Stelios Airlines. We all know where we ended up now.
Yeah, well, I know where he ended up. He ended up a multi-millionaire. That's where he ended up. You know, he did all right out of it. All right. So, any last thoughts before we go? We've done an hour. I think that's enough.
I'd like to actually say that our hands up, and I thought we was going to lose within the 50th minute, but it just shows you that Rafinha come off, and I think it changed the game. It Leeds look less, dangerous going forward. But I'm just loving this West Ham at the minute. That even when we're not playing particularly well, we can just come out with a good performance, or we just a bit of magic and something happens. I'll tell you, Antonio scored the goal, fantastic goal, really well taken. But the work from Rice to make that pass and get through and make it happen. It's just we're becoming a team that is a top 4S team, and all I want to do is praise Moyes because he's just changed the complete ethos at the club now, and it's fantastic. And I just think it's amazing to watch West Ham at the moment because I said to someone in the week, I don't care if you lose 3-0, just play like you want to win 3-0. We're winning as well.
The effort in. And we're winning.
We're getting results, and it's amazing. We're winning the cup, we're winning Europe, we're winning in the league. It's fantastic. It's amazing time.
We'll win a cup this season. We will win a cup this season. There's no doubt about it. We'll win a cup. Let's do
Goals
this
are
one.
fun.
Well, when we're scoring.
Can I just point out that Kev WHC earlier admitted that Moyes, he was wrong about Moyes. We've just heard Luke hold his hands up. I've just heard Luke hold his hands up. So since we're in the group therapy chat, anything you want to say still? Any hands you want to hold up? Anything, because
no, I'll stick to what I said earlier. I think they made it really hard for us. I think I think when we got the goal back, could I see us winning? No, I thought it would be. I thought it'd stay as a draw. What am I happy that we won? Of course I am. Did we deserve it? Not really. I think a draw would have been fair. I think a draw would have been fair.
Denial is not just a river in Egypt. You just live in that.
Let's answer this before we go. I mean, no, we will not get Tony in January. Absolutely not. But Kev asks or says, I hope we get a striker for January. We're not likely to, are we?
Well, lack of transfer funds, Lacazette. There's a link there.
Oh, a cheeky little, something we don't.
I know a lot you don't, but I mean, nothing about that, to be fair.
Just out of interest, are any of you amazed at how fit Antonio's managed to stay so far this season? Because by now they've broken down. He's playing.
We're only a couple of months into the season.
No, but by now he's done it.
It took him till Christmas to get injured last season. So don't say that just yet.
he's playing a lot more. He's playing a lot longer in the games. He's not being taken off like Bowen was, like the 60th, 70th minutes and bringing someone else on. He's playing a lot of 90 minutes. He's playing in Europe and he's playing in his league games where they're still going at him. The defenders are still trying to break him down. He's pushing on and stuff like that. Yes, we need a striker, but I'm not desperate for one really right now. And I will do obviously when he gets injured, but I'm not very desperate in a minute.
Desperate for a striker or not going to happen?
I don't know. Are we desperate? Not when we're scoring goals and winning. We're not desperate. Should we have one good practices? Yes. In regards to what Luke says about Antonio, there's a bit of me that thinks the fact he never went through a professional academy and was in non-league football at a young age means he's not been burnt out. So he never got overplayed as a young player because we overplay our we overtrain our academy players. And I think that is the problem. If you can go back and look at a lot of players that played non-league football and then progressed into top division. They actually happened to play on for a bit longer. Ian Wright, Les Ferdinand. Go back to Alan Devonshire. These players that come out and that weren't part of football academies and have that over-intensive training from the age of 6, 7, 8. He didn't have that. And I think that's why, as a later age, and his build, I think he wasn't a muscle man when he first joined us, was he? So he's obviously looked at that.
He wasn't. Then he was
well built,
and now he's not again. Then he's got back down.
Yeah,
again.
But he obviously he's been shown a different way of playing by Moyes.
Yeah. Another question here: which is our Czech Kouyaté, Soucek or Král? They're both better than Kouyaté ever was, aren't they? Well, certainly Soucek is.
Oh,
Kouyaté was good.
I don't know.
No.
Kouyaté was an absolute beast his first few seasons with us, and then he just dipped down once we moved stadiums. I think that was sort of like him sort of Sacco. They did this.
The club imploded at the same time, didn't it? And sometimes it could have been a reason for it.
But he didn't score the goals that Soucek scored. That's the difference between Soucek. Of any midfielder that we've had in the past 10 years, is the fact that Soucek scores goals. We've never had a holding midfielder who is like a salmon in the box, but can also, hit a perfectly good shot outside the box. And we've never had a goal scorer like that for a long while. So,
would you recommend NWO? NWO reckons but I've not seen it this season, and I was worried when we played Man United last week that he might go a bit too defensive, and he didn't do it. So, what do you think of NWO's comment? Not sure Moyes can take us further. Bottles it against the big teams.
I think we were unlucky against Man United.
I think we were extremely unlucky against Man United.
I think Lingard's goal was outstanding. The penalty, at the end of the day, we did the penalty sort of to death last week. Everybody's had their say about it, and that's how close we were to getting something against Man United. So I don't think that's right.
I tell you now, right. I'll take being poor against the so-called top six teams, because for years, as every West Ham fan knows, West Ham got up for the top six games and then didn't do very well against the Southamptons and the Wolves and the Watfords and all that. You go to the game thinking, well, where was this game we had against last week against Arsenal? We won 1-0, so maybe lost 3-0 to Reading or something like that. So last season, I think we lost to teams like Liverpool and lost to Man United and stuff like that, and we still finished top six. The aim that Moyes is trying to do is win the games you can win, and if you can beat the top six teams in your own little way, you do it. If the lost against Man United, I'll take that all day long. If you're going to win 2-1 Leeds away, because that's the sort of game where you go up north and we get spanked 3-0 in awful weather conditions and stuff like that. So the old West Ham, that's gone now. Beat the teams around us, beat the teams at the bottom, and then give it a go against top teams. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think personally the top six is dead. I think it's top four. I don't see Spurs and Arsenal at all as being worthy of being whatever. I think it's the top four away, and then from fifth down, there's 10 teams.
And there's a chance that one of those teams below might just break into
we're looking
Leicester.
Leicester have had a couple of good seasons. Is it catching up with them now?
Well, here's a question for us: is Europe going to catch up with us? Troj, is Europe going to affect us?
I thought that today during the first half. I thought we were.
Yeah, it went through my mind.
We've had 3 games in the last week or so with the Europe Zagreb, the game against Man United, and then the game against Man United in the week in the cup. And I thought we just look a bit leggy. And I thought the only way I know that things are going to change is if we come out with this different mindset in the second half, and Moyes gets a rocket up their arse and says, "Look, we got to sort it out," and we did. We weren't leggy. We were a completely different team in the second half, as I thought we might be. But like you say, still, it's only the first 2 months. Time will tell when it gets to January and stuff like that. But I think we could be, but it doesn't look like we are, because we're getting results still. So
I'm going to send you quickly a graphic, if you can load it and put it up.
Send it in. Are you going to send it to my
WhatsApp?
Oh, go on then. Oh, you've done it. Okay, so give me a minute.
So if you bring that up, this is not my graphic. It's done for me by someone, and they're going to supply me every week with this graphic.
Okay.
and then I'm happy to let people that want to use it. I actually said to the bloke, I'll give you credit for it, and he went, no, I don't need credit for it, but he's going to supply it to me every week. So it's a great thing. It's a season barometer, which when Stel figures out to load it from his phone onto the system, people can see what it is. And it's if you think of it, technology bypasses me.
Don't worry. It takes time to do it, because I was going to ask you to email it. It would have been a lot quicker. But don't worry about that. I can sort it out.
Do you want me to email it now?
No, too late. I've already emailed it to myself.
You've done it. So there you go. So it's a barometer that measures it against this season and last season, and how do we expect the season to thing. And he's going to keep supplying them to me every week, and I'll share the love about, because I think it's a great thing in the way he does it. But it'll give us an understanding of where we are in a situation against where we were last season, not as in this time of the season, but how you do it against the teams that you've already played.
Right.
I think what he's doing is, I'll confirm it with him. I think generally what he does is, so the team that come bottom would be replaced by the team that come top of the championship. So Norwich would replace like Fulham's result, and then you got the other, Brentford would have been would replace the team that finished third from bottom. So as you can see here, you got the Newcastle away, last season's result. We lost. This season we won. So that means we're +3. So what you can see, so if you think of how many points we got last season, we were 3 points up on that. Now we've continued with the same results, funnily enough, already to what we've got last season. So if you look at Leeds away, we've actually hit the same result on a 2-1 win. So when he gives me the Leeds barometer, you will then see.
So therefore, judge it going by that, we're 3 points ahead of where we were this time last season.
So if you imagine where we were last season, if we continue on the same trajectory, so we achieve the same result, everything we get, which is a bit of pressure, because if you look, we got Brentford as he's replaced with Sheffield United, as you can see. That's 3-0. So we've got to beat Brentford, we've got to beat Everton away, and we've got to beat Spurs away just to stay on the 3-point trajectory.
Easy.
The one game there quickly that would worry me, I suppose, is Everton.
The game that will worry me is actually Brentford. Oh no, that's at home, so no, maybe not.
Yeah, no,
maybe
I
not.
don't. So,
can you ask your mate if I'm allowed to use that on my show?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
So I've asked him today. Other people have asked whether they can use it, and I asked him, and he was like, yeah, he was happy to do it. So
you sure he doesn't want a little mention?
Well, no, because the one thing I wanted to make sure that people understood was this is not my work. Yeah, but for whatever reason, he wanted to use me as the conduit. So that's all I am.
If he's all right with it, I'll be happy. I'll gladly use that.
So
Thank you. Right, where do we leave this?
I'll just get to go first. Yeah, know your place.
Well, depends on who. I might decide. Well, we've already put it out, so too late.
Yeah, but I tweeted it this morning. So I'm not that stupid, yeah. Still.
We've done all the talking. I mean, we've answered the questions in the chat. Thank you all for getting involved as usual. Any last thoughts before we go? Next game is goodness. When's our next game?
Thursday.
Thursday. Oh yeah,
Thursday. I'll go into it.
What sort of team do you think we're going to put out on Thursday? I don't. It's going to be our what people call our B team, isn't it?
First home game in Europe in front of our own fans. We're keeping the momentum going. We won't see a B team. We might see a few changes. So
A-.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it, actually. Yeah, but not a minus team anyway.
No.
Maybe a B plus, maybe that
B
sort of
plus.
thing. But yeah, something like that, a bit more positive. But I'm going. It's by the way, it's nice to be back on here. I don't get on here very often now because I've got a bloody camera on my thingy anymore. I'm gonna sort that out. But nice to be back on and sort of.
Are you coming to the Supporters Club before the game on Thursday?
I will try my best. Depends what time.
Oh no, yeah, you're a Carpenter's boy, aren't you?
Well, I haven't been there this season yet, so I can't
sorry.
say that.
Wipe your feet on the way out.
Easy.
Don't dirty them roads up
in and
outside,
out.
please.
It's going to be a family show, isn't it? Yeah. If I get there in time, I'll try and see you still and try and get some drinks off you, which apparently is impossible.
Trust me, it ain't me you got to worry about.
No
but we won't go there. Right, thank you both, much appreciated. I might. We didn't do a late last night. I asked Nigel. I said, do you want Nigel on? And he went, no, I'm not doing one. And of course I was away, so I couldn't do one. So I might. Depends on
I'll tell you one
the
thing.
other half. I
You
might do a late.
That's a no then.
No, you don't know. You don't know.
Can you let me
Watch
know
out.
in advance though? So like,
I'll let you know.
It was all right because last night it weren't BBC 4. It was the Ryder Cup. So actually it was quite good. Even though it was like
Right.
It was like the late show because it was 1 o'clock by the time I called in.
There you go.
So
what are you going to say, mate? Luke?
Usik versus Joshua tonight, and Usik's a West Ham fan. You've got to give him a West Ham shirt by Yarmolenko. So don't know who you want to support now. People are watching this, but
well, it's Joshua a Tottenham fan because
I thought he was a Tottenham fan.
Yeah,
I thought he was.
That's why. Isn't he boxing at their ground
He's
tonight?
boxing at their ground. Yeah.
I thought he was a Spurs fan. Yeah.
I thought he's Watford actually. I think he's Watford.
Oh, was he?
He's Watford. But he's from Watford anyway.
Well, good luck to him anyway.
Yeah.
Good luck to him.
See how it goes.
Right. Thank you guys, much appreciated.
Cheers,
Do join us for another show. You will get, if you've subscribed, you'll know when the next show's coming up. If you haven't subscribed, please do hit the thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell button, and you'll get a notification for when the next show's up. Much appreciated. Another win for West Ham.
Up the Hammers.
Up the Hammers. Nigel says it was deserved. Luke and I are correct in thinking that we were lucky, but there you go.
I wouldn't say that though.
Shut! Don't turn it on now.
See what happened. That's the power of my group therapy.
Don't do it.
Luke has embraced the therapy side that I have dished out, and it's Mr. Negative, sitting there.
I'm never negative.
But next week,
never negative.
I will draw you back in. You are always welcome still.
Game of 2 halves, lads. Game of 2 halves. That's what I'll put down as.
Thank you all for joining. Have a pleasant Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening and Sunday and all that. And if we do come back on for the late show, we will notify you as far enough in advance as we can. Have a great day.
Nice one. Up the Hammers.